everybody. On this episode of Under the Hat, we are going to discuss what you need to include in your highlight reels as an outside hitter and what college coaches really want to see. So, Sam, not to toot our own horn, but we have an amazing editing staff that takes care of video editing for our clients. And we're pretty blessed and fortunate with that. One of our favorite clients to talk about in terms of the outside hitter position is Jamiriana Hall. And just, wow, she's so dynamic. She's so fun to watch. As a college coach or as a former college coach, what are things that you see in Jamiriana's video that really stand out to you, and what should be included in an outside hitter's highlights?
So as an outside, obviously that first 10 to 15 seconds needs to show you being able to terminate the ball. You have to terminate the ball. No tips, no roll shots. Please terminate the ball. I think that's super, super important. The great thing about Jay Hall, as I love to call her, is that she's explosive and she gets up and she has no fear. Like, she just goes balls to the wall, quite frankly, and swings. And she finds a way to get it done. And so as an outside, that termination piece is really important because college coaches need players on the pins who can point score, quite frankly, at the next level. As an outside too, the other component that comes into play is your ability to play 6 rotations. The game has changed a lot with subs, and if we're running a 6-2 or a 5-1, and having a left side, especially an OH1 that can play 6 rotations all the way around, is really important to have that on a college coach. College coach wants that. And also because of your ability to attack from the back row, as we've seen that evolve more in the women's game, especially even running a BIC. That's, having somebody who can do that and having another option, I think, is super, super important. Jay Hall definitely brings that dynamicism to the game and her explosiveness and her ability to put balls down. She also has some shots, and she can, she just hit that ball off the net as I'm watching this video, and she took a nice swing 10 feet off the net, found the 5-6 seam to put that ball down for a kill, and that's really, really important. Again, I like to talk, when do you terminate for a kill versus when do you place for a kill? And as a pin attacker, especially on that left side, that is going to be very crucial to your success, knowing that you're probably going to get a lot of sets when you are on that left side.
I think it's important, you guys. Too many people in their highlight reels try and summarize a whole season, and they end up doing film like 8, 10, 14 minutes long, or sending unedited footage out. And college coaches really need to see a 2 to 2.5 minute highlight reel. They're not going to spend all day watching your footage or waiting for you to touch a ball. So starting with, as Sam said, in your first 10 to 15 seconds, showing that you can terminate. The first 3 balls should be you terminating on the outside. No roll shots. There's a lot of male coaches out there that really want to see how explosive you are and how physical you are at the net. And so it's going to be really important that you're getting up there and you're swinging away as a pin. Ball control, showing the fact that you can play defense and play and serve receive, like Sam said, is going to be crucial. So ensuring that you have a series of clips in there showing your, ability to dig a ball and then maybe transition to the outside and swing away. So, showing your speed is going to be another crucial part. If you're an outside who walks on the court, it's going to be really, really difficult to put together a highlight reel that's going to highlight you, to the best of your ability. And that's a turnoff to college coaches. So I'd love for you to take a close look at Jay Hall's video here and just really see, how quick she is to transition off the net and to get out and be available to swing. In your highlight reels, of course, we're going to talk about the things not to include. So, Sammy, you start.
No fire, please. No flames, no fire, no arrows, no slow motion, please. And, again, like I talk about that, and especially when we're talking about the outside attacker, if you are circling or arrowing or a flame's coming across or your Etch-a-Sketch, you are not allowing the college coaches to see that entire movement. Again, Kara talked about how Jay Hall does a great job with her transition. And as a pin, that is something that college coaches really need to see so that they can see your ability to hit different locations, different spots when you're in system versus out of system. And if you are adding all these other add-ons, you won't be able to see it.
Depending on the level, some coaches are very reliant to doing their recruiting on film because their budget doesn't allow them to do a lot of off-campus recruiting. So, sending out consistent highlight reels are a really important part of your recruiting journey and ensuring that you're putting these together all the time. It shouldn't summarize your whole season. Your video is 2 to 2.5 minutes long, and you're sending out consistent updates and consistent highlights to show your growth and your progress throughout your season. One of the things that is really good about being a 6 rotation outside is you don't have to have as many uniform changes on the opposite side of the net, which as a college coach, I think gives you more confidence in recruiting that player because you're getting a lot of playing time and it shows that you're playing a lot. So that's just something to keep in mind. You're trying to just engage with the college coaches and get them to, show some interest and want to talk to you. So that's what you need to keep in mind when you're putting together these highlight reels, that you want to show your speed, you want to show how explosive you are, you want to show your ball control, and, really do your best to stay consistent with sending out your highlights. So
yeah, and I think that we've had some players that we've worked with that maybe have always been a 3 rotation pin, but they've worked hard to evolve into that 6 rotation pin, and I think that that's really important. Sometimes the uncontrollable is that maybe you are only playing 3 rotations, but there's ways to show what you are doing to improve your passing, your serve receive, and your defense, quite frankly, so that you can say, look, I am working on this. I want to be a 6 rotation pin. Here's what I'm doing to get to that next level.
I think Jay is a good example, of the power of social media and what we've been able to do with our clients. Just putting Jay's video up, she got multiple offers just from having her footage on our Insta channel. And there's so many college coaches that are following us, that are engaged with us. So I think for her, that was such a powerful tool. And so it's just really important that you guys are taking advantage of any opportunity to get your footage out there, whether you're doing stuff with YouTube or you're putting it on your social media channels. Just share all you can with the college coaches so that it helps to create more exposure and more engagement.
Yeah, huge. It's been huge for her, without a doubt.
Another outside that we want to highlight in this episode is Sarah Straw. So,
yeah, I mean, we've had the opportunity to work with Sarah now for a little bit, and the great thing is we've seen Sarah. I talked about that 3 rotation pin going into a 6 rotation pin, and Sarah and I had had numerous conversations about how that was important for her through this recruiting journey, and she has really taken that to heart. You had a chance to see her in Reno. Unfortunately, I couldn't be there, but you were raving and informing me that how well she had played, and just she looked the part, like her body language, everything that she was doing, she was just selling it out there, and because of that, her recruiting has really picked up a lot. I mean, she looks the part. She's a 6'2" pin on the left side, which is exciting to a lot of college coaches. So it's for us, when we go through this process and we go through these journeys with, the kids that we work with, it's always great to see the hard work and, when they take it to heart, what we've been talking about, and it finally comes to fruition.
Yeah, I think the coachability, that's one thing that you talk a lot about in terms of taking these kids through the process and what college coaches are looking for. They want to know that you're going to be coachable, that you're going to listen, that you're going to be responsive. And I think for us, one of the most exciting things about being in our position when we're advocating for clients and talking to college coaches is we're really able to highlight some of the positive experiences that we have with our athletes. And I think for Sarah, just the significant growth in this player has been pretty phenomenal. And it makes it so exciting to just be a part of her journey and to see her succeed. So I'm excited to see her at AAUs and see how she finishes the season and see what college coaches are watching our episode here that are seeing her film, and hopefully adding her to the list.
For her and any of our outsides, quite frankly.
For sure. Thanks so much for tuning in on this episode of Under the Hat. We hope you learned something. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date on all of our latest tips. So thanks, everybody.
Thanks.